Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. As so far, I've been your host, Yuri, and happy Pride Month, as well as happy Dinosaur Day. And for this Dinosaur Day, we're going to be going back to focusing on specific formations. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on the Kem Kem beds of Morocco in North Africa. Let's go get into it with the first animal of the week being Afrotapejara, which is an extinct genus of tapejarid pterosaur that lived throughout the Albian and early Cenomanian stages of the Cretaceous period, some 110 to 95 million years ago. Although the first remains of Afrotapejara, consisting of a fragmentary jaw, were unearthed in 1997, it wouldn't be until 2020 that Afrotapejara would be formally named and described by paleontologists David Martell, Roy Smith, David M. Unwin, Alexander Kao, James McAfee, and Nizar Ibrahim, based on a partial skull collected from the Kem Kem Formation of Morocco. The holotype specimen of Afrotapejara consists of a 6-inch long partial rostrum which tapers to a point and preserves the broken base of a sagittal crest near the end of the fragment. The fragment is toothless and the end of the rostrum appears to deflect downward. Two additional specimens are known, similar to the holotype, but preserve smaller and different parts of the beak. Notably, the 1997 mandible referred to the species is also toothless and preserves a deep crest below the mandibular symphysis. No part of the skeleton outside of the skull is known from Afrotapejara, but comparison to other tapejarids suggests it possessed a skull length of 16 to 20 inches in length and a wingspan of 11.5 to 16.5 feet. Afrotapejara likely had a large fan-shaped sagittal crest formed by soft tissue spanning two bony bases, one on the snout and the other near the rear of the skull, as well as a deep crest on the chin. In-life Afrotapejara would have inhabited the vast tropical deltas of Cretaceous North Africa, feeding upon various fruits and nuts, as well as the occasional arthropod, mollusk, or small tetrapod, while itself trying to avoid becoming prey to large fish, crocodilians, and theropods such as Rugops and Carcharodontosaurus. Next up is Onchopristis, which is an extinct genus of sclerorhynchoid cartilaginous fish which lived throughout Africa, Europe, and North America during the Cretaceous period, some 129 to 72 million years ago, making it one of the oldest and longest lived of the sclerorhynchoid genus. The first remains, consisting of a fragmentary rostrum, were unearthed on the continental interclare of Algeria by French geologist Gustave-Émile Hague, which he named Gigantichthys nubidus in 1905. That same year, Hague also named Platyspondylus forini for vertebrae from the same formation. In 1917, Ernst Stromer recognized that Hague's finds represented the same species of animal and sported characteristics that made these creatures distinct from either Gigantichthys or Platyspondylus. Stromer then named the new species Onchopristis with G. numidus as the type species. Over the next century, hundreds of partial specimens would be unearthed, including those of a second valid species from the Woodbine Formation of Texas. Onchopristis duncali was named by Charles McNulty Jr. and Bob Slaughter in 1962, reaching 16 to 26 feet in length and 1 to 1.5 tons in weight. Onchopristis sported a 3.5 foot long barbed rostrum, 6 fins, 1 fluke, and a flat body. Onchopristis also had both its gills and mouth on the underside of its body, which were adaptations to eating its prey off of the river bed. Interestingly enough, Onchopristis' closest living relatives are actually skates, and it convergently evolved to have sawfish and saw shark iconic features and lifestyle. In life, Onchopristis would have swam the rivers, lakes, estuaries, and coastlines, feeding upon fish, crustaceans, and mollusks, while themselves being an important food source for creatures such as pliosaurs, mosasaurs, crocodilians, and the infamous Spinosaurus. Next up, we have Carcharodontosaurus, which is a genus of large Carcharodontosaurid theropod dinosaur that existed throughout Africa during the Cenomanian stage of the Cretaceous period, some 100 to 93 million years ago. The first remains of Carcharodontosaurus, consisting of 2 teeth, were uncovered in Algeria by paleontologists Diperet and Savonin in 1924, which they initially named Megalosaurus saharicus before redescribing it as a species of Dryptosaurus. The name Carcharodontosaurus wouldn't arise until 1931, when paleontologist Ernst Stromer, describing a partial skeleton consisting of a partial skull, teeth, vertebrae, claw bones, hip bones, and leg bones from the Bahariya Formation of Egypt. The teeth in his new findings match those described by Diperet and Salvernin, which led to Stromer conserving the species name Saharicus but finding it necessary to erect a new genus name for the species, which he dubbed Carcharodontosaurus for their similarities in sharpness and serrations to the teeth of Carcharodon, the great white shark. The fossils described by Stromer were destroyed in 1944 during World War II, but a new, more complete skeleton was found from the Kem Kem group of Morocco during an expedition led by paleontologist Paul Sereno in 1995. Today, 2 species are recognized, C. saharicus and C. equindensis, reaching 35 to 45 feet in length and 5 to 9 tons in weight. Carcharodontosaurus ranks amongst the largest theropods, being comparable in size to Tyrannosaurus rex, Giganotosaurus, and Spinosaurus. In life, Carcharodontosaurus would have dwelled throughout the wetlands, forests, and estuaries of Cretaceous North Africa, where it fulfilled a role of terrestrial apex predator, feeding upon hadrosaurs, sauropods, ankylosaurines, turtles, crocodilomorphs, and other theropods. Next up, we have Axelrodichthys, which is an extinct genus of diverse and adaptable mossonid coelacanth, which dwelled throughout the fresh, brackish, and coastal marine waters of Madagascar, mainland Africa, both North and South America, and Europe, during the Aptian to Lower Maastrichtian stages of the Cretaceous period, some 120 to 70 million years ago. The first remains, consisting of several exceptionally preserved whole specimens, were unearthed from the Araipesuchus Basin in northeastern Brazil in 1986 by a team led by John G. Mazey. Mazey decided to name the genus Axelrodichthys in honor of his colleague, American ichthyologist Herbert R. Axelrod. Today, several species are known, including Axelrodichthys araipensis, Axelrodichthys mazii, Axelrodichthys lavocati, and Axelrodichthys megadromos. With most of these species reaching 3 to 7 feet in length. However, a few species, such as A. lavocati, reach truly gigantic sizes at upwards of 13 feet in length. Along with the size and habitat, the diet also appears to have varied between species, with some being filter feeders of plankton and krill, while others were active predators who swallowed their prey whole using a suction method in a similar manner to present-day coelacanths. Axelrodichthys are distinguished from other coelacanthiforms by their more elongated, low, and wide skulls, whose skull roof and cheekbones sported strong ornamentation. Next up, we have Rugops, which is a genus of albilisaurid theropod dinosaur which inhabited what is now North Africa during the Cenomanian stage of the late Cretaceous period, some 100 to 93 million years ago. The first remains of Rugops, consisting of a mostly complete skull, were unearthed by Paul Sereno and his team in 2000, and scientifically described in 2004. This find is heralded as a geological breakthrough, as it marked the first albilisaurid dinosaur found in Africa, with all previous members being from Madagascar, India, and South America. For this reason, the existence of Rugops is held up as proof that not only were South America and Africa once joined, but land bridges existed between the two continents after they had split, allowing for new and different kinds of dinosaurs to spread across the globe into new continents. The name Rugops, meaning wrinkle face, comes from the numerous impressions of the skull bone from large blood vessels that once ran across the bony surface, leaving it a wrinkled appearance. It is thought that these extra vessels were there to provide additional oxygenated blood to special vibrant facial display features, so far not seen in any other theropod. Alternatively, these vessels could have supplied blood to some kind of armored covering over its face. Standing 5 to 8 feet high at the shoulder and reaching 14 to 18 feet in length, and weighing around 900 pounds, Rugops was a small to medium-sized theropod which would have inhabited the vast wetlands and flooded forests throughout Cretaceous North Africa, living alone or in small groups, as it fed upon small herbivores and scavenged the kills of larger carnivores such as Carcharodontosaurus and Spinosaurus. Next up is Araipesuchus, which is also known as the rat croc or the dog croc, is a genus of extinct Notosuchian crocodiliform that lived throughout South America, Madagascar, and mainland Africa from the Barremian to the Maastrichtian stages of the Cretaceous period. Some 125 to 66 million years ago. The first remains of Araipesuchus, consisting of a near-complete skull and lower jaw, was unearthed from the famed Santana group of the Araipe Basin in Brazil by Dr. Price in 1959. Today, 6 species are recognized, including A. gomenzii from Brazil, A. patagonicus, and A. brutarensis from Chile and Argentina, A. tasingana from Madagascar, and A. wingeri and A. ratodis from North Africa. Reaching 3 to 6 feet in length and 44 to 88 pounds in weight, Araipesuchus can be distinguished by their large eyes and unique skulls, which bowl laterally on the edges of the snout. They also had thin osteoderms that covered the entire body, with multiple rows of them across the back, belly, and a set of large paired dorsal ones along the tail. The osteoderms were not strongly keeled, which, along with the long limb bones and shoulder, hip, and ankle joints that suggested an upright posture, indicate that Araipesuchus was more active on land than in the water. Study of the dentition reveals that Araipesuchus may have been a generalist hunter. This is indicated by the sharp conical teeth towards the front of the mouth, with a more rounded, sturdier teeth towards the back. These two sets of teeth are separated by both the upper and lower jaws by enlarged canines that were used for killing small prey, such as arthropods, lizards, amphibians, mammals, eggs, small pterosaurs, and even small or hatchling dinosaurs. And our last animal of the week is Rebbachisaurus, which is an extinct genus of sauropod dinosaur of the superfamily Diplodocodea that lived throughout Africa and possibly South America during the Cenomanian stage of the Cretaceous period some 193 million years ago. The first remains, consisting of 10 ribs, the right shoulder blade, 11 vertebrae, the sacrum, the humerus, and 2 pelvic bones, were collected from the Iofoos Formation of Morocco between 1948 and 1952 by French paleontologist René Lavocat. He named the type species R. garasbe, but only the shoulder blade and a single vertebrae from the string of 11 were initially described, very briefly and without illustrations. The fossils were left undescribed and neglected until 2015, when Jeffrey Wilson and Ronan Allian cleaned the holotype and described the remaining fossils that Lavocat never described in 1954. Currently, there are two valid species, being A. garasbe and A. tamanensis. Additionally, the Rebbachisaurus Rheosaurus agrioensis from Argentina, named by Jose Bonaparte in 1996, is believed to be possibly synonymous with Rebbachisaurus garasbe, and the two species are nearly identical, reaching 60 to 80 feet in length and 12 to 40 tons in weight. Rebbachisaurus possessed a small head and a long, graceful neck and a whip-like tail. Rebbachisaurus is further distinguished from other sauropods by its unusually tall, ridged back, which is thought to have sported a spine or sail. In life, Rebbachisaurus inhabited the wetlands, coastal deltas, and flooded forests of North Africa and possibly South America, where it traveled in herds, feeding upon shrubs and trees alongside strange crocodiliforms, gigantic fish, unusual pterosaurs, and some of the most titanic theropods to ever live. As always, take care to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals.